It all started with an idea, how to go from recycling to ending food waste. And when I talk about ending food waste, it's in the sense of no surplus or would-be wasted food would go anywhere but at least compost, but hopefully prevention or maybe recovery. So there are about 9,000 curbside recycling programs in the US. And how many were there 30 years ago? Not very many, some in this area luckily. And how many curbside programs are working on food waste right now? In the sense of composting, it's less than 5% of the country. And local programs working on food waste prevention or food recovery, even less. And it's a shame because actually only 10% of the surplus would-be wasted food that's actually still edible and good gets recovered. And as you know, almost half of all food gets wasted or uneaten. So how do you go again from recycling to ending food waste? You get some great organizations together right there. Does that work? Yep, great organizations right there. Called a Zero Food Waste Forum, again, focusing on solutions to food waste. And all of you supporting it. So we had an amazing amount of support right there. Bringing people together and inspiring them. We were lucky to premiere the great documentary Just Eat It at the Zero Food Waste Forum, and it really gets at the heart of the problem. We had great speakers, a lot of dialogue. We walked the talk with recovered food. We had over 40 co-sponsors, again, many of you, 260 plus attendees from 16 different states, speakers from all over the country and the world, talking about the solutions like zapping food waste, the technical solutions, reducing food waste, preventing food waste, recovering good food, and of course composting too. So again, thank you for all of your support. It would not have happened. Yes, thank you. Never happened without all your support. And because of all those people involved, we were able to hold the Feeding the 5,000 Oakland. So Feeding the 5,000, in case you didn't see it, it was a food waste and hunger awareness festival with fun, positive solutions to the problem. And again, the idea was bringing people together, getting them involved, so we got a lot of those folks from around the country involved in the event, in addition to a lot of you, and then inspiring them to do more. So it was 11,000 pounds of would-be wasted produce, all because it was either crooked carrots, too large potatoes or onions, scratched squash, dinged apples. So we had soup, smoothies, and if you didn't know, the tops of the strawberries were in the smoothies as well. It was very delicious, it was awesome. We had chef demos, inspirational speeches, and most importantly, we made food waste history in Oakland. Next, I began spreading the word of what we all accomplished. So first on a plenary at the Reuse Connects in Austin, then on the only food waste panel at the 2-day Food Tank Summit in Washington, D.C., and luckily the day I was there, Tom Colicchio was speaking right before us, so 10,000 people were watching, or 10,000 computers were watching that day. Then came ugly fruit and vegetables. If you didn't already know, as much as 40% of all produce in the US goes uneaten because of strict cosmetic standards such as size, shape, or color requirements. And as a lot of you have probably seen, there's been the ugly fruit and veg boom in Europe, spurred by Intermarchés and Glorious Fruits and Vegetables, the Suggested France ad campaign that just went everywhere. But is any major retailer in the US selling uglies? No. So what can we do about it? Could we make food waste activism fun? Could we pressure grocers to take action and grab people's attention and support? So that's why I started the Ugly Fruit and Veg campaign in December. And in January, the support came pouring in. It was amazing. I didn't think much of it at first, and then Jamie Oliver retweeted 5 of my tweets and blew up my phone one night, which was awesome. And then I asked a bunch of other people I sort of barely know, all these folks right here and some more, and they supported it too and retweeted, and the followers kept pouring in. And that was January. Since then, the momentum keeps building. Now there's over 7,500 followers on Twitter, over 17,000 retweets and favorites of the 10 to 15 posts a day, over 12 million retweet reach, and they started Facebook a while ago, Instagram recently, and then now Tumblr and Flickr as well. And the press has starting to come in now. So it was mentioned in a New York Times article a couple weeks ago. There was features in NPR, On Earth, and Tree Hugger. I wrote a cool article in a Carnegie Council magazine, and there was even a Swedish newspaper and an Italian newspaper that did a feature on it, and there's plenty in the works right now. And all of this allows me to talk about feeding the 5,000, the zero food waste movement, and all of that. We kind of secretly call it the Trojan horse. It brings people in, and it makes it fun, and then you get to talk about the real problems and the real solutions too. And now, the worldwide premiere and RU exclusive of Ugly Fruit and Veg live. Never tried this before, so be gentle. So what is Ugly Fruit and Veg? It's having fun with crack-up produce like squash booty right here. Yep. It's also the message that it's what's on the inside that counts, and that Ugly Fruit and Veg have a lot of love to give. But sometimes the uglies do get mad. And other times, with store pilots in Europe and now Canada and Australia, they soar to infinity and beyond. But mostly, the campaign for Ugly Fruit and Veg, perhaps sometimes the campaign and all these campaigns around the world see so much press that they might just break the internet. But mostly, the campaign for Ugly Fruit and Veg is about hitching a ride through people's minds, a ride to worldwide favor, and most importantly, a ride out of dumpsters and on the fields and onto our plates. So what's next? I'll be sharing at BioCycle Portland on a keynote, a workshop, and a panel. I'll be entering the belly of the beast and Waste Expo in Las Vegas, talking about organics, really about prevention and recovery. Shh. And I'll also be organizing the Zero Food Waste Forum with the City of Austin to focus around business solutions to the issue, kind of modeled after the one in Berkeley. And all along the way, with my role as a feedback volunteer now, I'm helping folks organize their own Feeding the 5,000s around the US. And last but not least, the event to really kick this revolution into high gear, the Feeding the 5,000 New York. So I'm working on that right now to organize for September of this year, and the foodie star power that have said yes so far is absolutely ridiculous. I wanted to share it by today, but I can't because we haven't booked the park yet. But it'll bring more attention to food waste than ever before, and really blow this revolution into high gear. So stay tuned as the revolution continues.
All right, we have plenty of time for questions. If I could see raise of hands, anybody who has questions for Jordan? Right in here, yes.
I was just curious, the Feeding the 5,000, is that geared towards 5,000 people, feeding them, and then where does the food go? And like, is there something connected with like putting this into soup kitchens, or how does this work?
Yeah, so Feeding the 5,000 started in London in Trafalgar Square about 6 years ago. And the idea is feeding 5,000 people on would-be wasted food. It comes from the biblical reference of feeding 5,000 people with 2 fishes and 5 loaves. So it's food that would not have gone to food banks or shelters or anywhere. We find food that was going to go to waste and then feed 5,000 people in a public square. But it's creating awareness around it, a festival, DJ music, all of that. Yeah.
Have you had any success working with grocery stores on the Ugly Fruit at all?
Well, it's building momentum in other countries. Unfortunately, Canada just had another big retailer. Jamie Oliver was working with Asda in the UK, which is a subsidiary of Walmart. So it's happening other places, just still not here yet. But we're getting a lot of articles and a lot of attention. I have a lot of food writers and chefs following me. It's a little crazy when you ask Gail Simmons of Top Chef to retweet something, and she does. So it's building. It's just, yeah, we need a grocer to actually take the leap and try it.
Have you documented any of the like the smaller produce stores that do sell that type of produce?
I promote that all the time. So yeah, we basically tell people that you can find this at farmers markets and local co-ops and bodegas and small stores. So shop there. If the grocers aren't going to sell it, then shop at the smaller stores. Go to the farmers market. And a lot of people are tweeting back at me from all over the world saying, hey, I found this at the farmers market, check it out. Some of the stuff I could not show today. You'd be amazing how many phallic potatoes there are out there. Like, I don't need to see any more phallic potatoes. But there's, yeah, people are really looking for it, yeah. Yes?
What's the single most important thing to, personally or professionally to get these programs on board?
So keep demanding it. Part of the campaign, I use the pictures, as the Trojan horse to pull people in. But on the website, I have all of the major grocers linked to their comment page, to their Twitter campaign, or their Twitter handle, so you can ask them. And the more people that ask them and bother them about it, the more people send them the information, it'll happen. I mean, it's starting to happen in Canada, so it's more of the pressuring, asking them at the store, why don't you sell it? Why is all your produce perfect? You know, that kind of a thing. And I'm really trying to find a report that says that the non-GMO organic stuff is healthier and looks funny, because as anybody who gardens, they'll know stuff doesn't come out perfect. So why can't we have that in the store? So yeah, it's really just pressuring people and asking them about it.
Is there one more question? Okay, thank you, Jordan.